All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the first Mortgage Coach interview of 2022. I just released the article on LinkedIn for the top videos of 2021. So check that out. We'll put a link down below, especially for new loan officers. I would watch every single one of those. Some of the best content in the mortgage industry. But whether you're new in the business or you're just trying to get to the next level, check that out. So guys, we got a full house today. We've got Todd Bookspan, Mr. Win by Noon. What's up, Todd?
Hey, not much. Happy New Year to all of you. And I think what a great conversation for us to kick off the year with. I'm super excited that we're bringing real estate agents in. I do want to shine a light on, last year, 3 of your top 10 videos were geared towards new loan officers. And I'm going to be running the top 3 ideas for new loan officers to grow and thrive in 2022. I'm going to run that webinar next Wednesday. I'll throw a link in both Facebook and Zoom. And here's really the scoop, right? If you are a loan officer who's been in this business for 3 years, 25 years, and you're reliving that first year over again, or you were heavy in refi and you're looking for ideas to grow, this is for you too. So can't wait to see a bunch of you on there, and excited for the conversation with some of our killer loan officers in our group, as well as a couple of new real estate agents. And, of course, also excited that we've got our other co-host, Deborah Bird, the fabulous CEO of Plug and Play SM here. Welcome, Deborah.
Hello, good morning. And I want to give a quick shout out to Genevieve. I appreciate your video that I saw in our channel about, why you love Mortgage Coach. So kudos to Greg and you working together. No pressure, Zach, but you're next.
I'm up for another video.
All right, challenge accepted.
Got it.
Nice job, Deborah, putting Zach on the spot, getting the video post event. So guys, we've got 2 Grandmaster Mortgage Coaches. That means they've done over 1,000 total cost analysis. They are not new loan officers. They are, doing over each of them over 100 million and tap it on the doorstep of 200 million. So Greg, real quick, why don't you go first and then also introduce the agent that you invited to today's call. If you could, Greg, just because it's closing out 21, if you could tell everybody what your production was last year, and then
Sure. Yeah, so I'm Greg Anderson with Caliber Home Loans down in the South Seattle area, down in Renton specifically. And last year, me and my team helped 314 families for 155 million. Been in the business 16 years, and I'm honored today to have one of my longtime real estate partners with me, Genevieve Stoll with Windermere Real Estate, again in the Seattle area. And Genevieve and I met each other when she moved out here from the East Coast. I was her loan officer, and then she was a real estate agent on the East Coast and moved out here and has been doing great. So happy to be here. Thanks for having us, Dave.
Yeah, no, thanks. And Genevieve, do you mind just sharing a little bit about your real estate practice and kind of business you do?
Sure, absolutely. So I am out of the Kent office, also in sort of the South Seattle area. I've been a broker since 2015. I first got my license in Connecticut, as Greg mentioned, and then rebuilt my business when I moved back out here in 2017. I work with mostly buyers. I've been buyer heavy since I started my business again. This year, I'm starting to see more of a transition into seeing more listings, hopefully. Really excited for what's ahead and excited to be here with all of you.
Good. Yeah, no, I think everybody wants to see more listings, right? That's not just a personal goal. That's an industry goal. And we'll talk about that. And I want both agents and both mortgage coaches to be thinking, what can we do together to bring more families, to say, hey, we got to sell our home. And then of course it's great when they buy another home. That's the trifecta. So Mr. Keller, if you don't mind, there's some new loan officers, maybe someone, it's their first month in the business, so they don't know who you are yet. I've had Dan on this channel a lot, but let everybody know who you are and what kind of production you did last year, Dan.
Yeah, right on. Thanks for having us again, Dave. Like Greg, I'm north of Seattle. So he's a few miles south of Seattle. I represent the north end of Seattle. And both of us are here with incredible real estate partners of ours. And so Mortgage Coach community if speaking of listings, you know of anyone who wants to sell in Seattle area or move to the Seattle area, you got two incredibly amazing realtors on this show. So you're going to reach out to either of them. But just like Greg and I, we've been in the industry together for a long time. We've been friends. We're in the same coaching program together. Some very similar production. Had another really good year. Just shy of 200 million, just shy of 400 loans. I think I just did my final audit for my coach and we were right around 370. So just another good year, hoping to, my goals this year, probably very close to Greg's, is to just repeat. You know, we're going to be in a different market. So try to put up the same kind of numbers that we've been able to put up in blessed markets the past 2 years with low interest rates. And the good thing too about both Greg and I, we share the same vision in our business where we're outside of refinance booms where you need to take care of your past clients. We're heavily focused on helping our real estate partners and helping home buyers get into the very competitive marketplace up here in Seattle.
Hey, Dan, if you could give us an introduction to Zach, tell us a little bit about Zach, and then Zach will hand it off to you and we'll start this mastermind.
Yeah, Zach is in my opinion, the ideal real estate partner. You know, I call him a kid because, you know, I'm 45 and he's probably 30, if I had to guess, 31.
31, you got it. Finally.
There we go. He's a little baby face, but I met Zach about 6-7 years ago. I think he reached out to me and said, hey, my insurance agent told me I needed to meet with a mortgage guy. I already got one, but he told me I had to sit down with you. And I'm like, awesome. I can't wait to take this appointment. This guy's never sold a home and he doesn't want to meet with me.
Yeah. How many homes did I sell when I told you I had a guy already?
He goes, I already got a guy. And I go, cool. How many homes have you sold? And he goes, well, I haven't yet, but I'm going to. And I'm like, cool. All right. I'll meet with you. So we met at a little coffee shop downtown Seattle, and I brought him a book. I brought him a book called The 7 Levels of Communication by Michael Mayer. And this is a great introduction to, I think, what you can bring value to a lot of young loan officers and realtors. I said, how old are you, bud? And he goes, yeah, I'm whatever, 25. 24, 25. And I said, well, why are you getting into real estate? What do you do? And he goes, well, I'm a youth pastor. I work at a church and I really want to build my family. And I want to make it so that my wife doesn't have to work all the time. And I go, right on. So you have a big why, you have a big motivation. And I said, well, let me ask you something. What'd your broker tell you to do? And he goes, my broker told me to call everyone that I know and go meet with title reps and lenders but call all my friends and family members and tell them I'm selling real estate and tell them to refer me business. And I said, how's that going for you? And he goes, well, not real great. But I said, how many of your friends are buying homes right now? And he goes, no, not a whole lot. They're young like me. They don't have jobs yet. And I said, cool. So don't do what your broker told you to do. And he's like, well, what am I supposed to do? And I said, go out and start doing video, man. Everything you do, I want you to vlog your journey starting in real estate. I didn't think the kid was going to listen to me. He didn't even want to meet with me. What he does is he reads the book, 7 Levels of Communication. He starts doing that. We start meeting up a little bit more often. He gets a Zillow lead here or there. We finally get to do a deal together. Not only do we become business partners or have a business relationship, I look at Zach as one of my top favorite people in the whole entire world. He's got a background. He's got a background as a youth pastor. So we share the same hearts. I used to coach college and some semi-pro baseball. He used to work with the youth. The guy's one of the most intelligent, spiritually minded men that I know. We meet up every other Friday in the morning. We do a Bible study together. We talk business. We're in the same coaching company together now. And the kid in the last 3 years has absolutely blown up his business. I'll let him talk about his stats, but just what he's done in 5-6 short years is just absolutely amazing. And he's so well deserved. But I'm just so excited to expose Zach and some of his success stories to the Mortgage Coach tribe.
Well, that was an awesome opening and tee up for you, Zach. So Zach, if you take the stage, we're gonna focus on you and Dan for the next 20-ish minutes, and then we'll bring on Genevieve and Greg. So tell us about yourself.
One last thing. He won't say this, but I'm going to say this. His YouTube channel, what he's built on YouTube, probably the top YouTube channel in the Seattle area for real estate agents. And Zach, how many transactions last year did you close from people watching a video of yours reaching out to you on YouTube?
Yeah, so I went back and I was looking at the numbers here, and I had 9 closed transactions that were people that specifically articulated that they wanted to work with me because they'd been following my YouTube channel and watching my videos,
Okay.
which
And
is
so
pretty
your
awesome.
average commission up here in Seattle, just give me an estimate.
Well, I'll say, I mean, I made over 300 grand off
There you
those deals.
300 grand by
In
simply
commissions,
making
yeah.
videos. There you go.
That's awesome.
Love that. So Zach, how would you frame your practice? You know, tell us a little bit about your practice and your overall
Yeah.
results for last year.
Yeah, well, just really quick before I jump in that, I just want everybody to know on here how amazing Dan is. And I know he was introing me, but if you haven't gotten to know Dan or talked with him at all, that guy's been a huge influence in my business. And I think he just mentioned I had closed 0 transactions as a real estate agent when I first met him. And I think at this point in the last 7 years, done over 200. So, continuing to grow. If I was to frame kind of where we're at, just set the stage, we closed a little over 37 million in volume last year, 46 transactions. I've got a team of now 3. Last year was 2. I just hired a new gal. She started yesterday. So yesterday was a lot of training, and there's going to be a lot of that pouring into people. I think that's a big part of this business. And we're shooting for 72 this year. So we're shooting for a jump. Last year we matched what we did previous year as far as amount of transactions, volume went up, and we're looking for making that next leap this year. So as far as like the people we work with, we're about 50-50 buyers, sellers. I've been in the business for a little over 7 years now. So I was 24 when I got into the business. I'm 31 now. I think I had 0 kids when I got into the business, and now I have 3 and a 4th one that's coming here in a couple of weeks. So it's been quite a wild 7.5 years or so in the business.
Well, congratulations. And guys, a couple takeaways for anyone listening to this so far. You could just feel the love and respect between both, these real estate agents and their mortgage professionals. And it's beyond the transaction. The fact that they close loans on time, have great rates, that is not a talking point. It's who they are as leaders to each other and how they pour into each other to achieve their goals. And then anybody that's heard my interviews with Dan and Greg in the past, they have whys, they have purpose-driven mortgage and real estate practices. So we'll dig into that. But if you're new to the business, get super clear on your why. Why are you doing this? And the more it's purpose-driven and it's personal and it's unique to you, the greater the chances of your success. So hopefully that's a takeaway for everyone. So Zach, I want to, by the end of this hour, so we got about 45 minutes left. You've got about 16 minutes left on stage. I want to make sure we unpack from your perspective, what are some of the biggest opportunities that you think 22 represents for you and the way you're approaching this year? Zach.
Me personally, I think
your real estate practice. What are your biggest opportunities for you to grow? I'd love to know that.
Yeah, I think for me and my own business opportunities, the first one that comes to mind is just, more relationships with other business people. So I think having a great mortgage relationship, great lender relationship's a huge part of that. Dan's been a huge part of my success. I think having relationships with other business professionals and like-minded professionals is a huge opportunity for me and my business. I think more video is a huge opportunity. And for the lenders, I think most of you are lenders on this call, but for the lenders and the agents, video is a huge and powerful tool. I got a video from Dave, text message this morning, and I appreciate that. Dave didn't respond, was with my kids. But I appreciate that. And I think video is a huge opportunity to continue to build a brand. It's something that lasts too, and it stays. You don't do that video one time and it's gone. You do that video one time and it stays around. So I'm starting to see the benefits of the things and the work and the effort that I put in 3, 4, 5 years ago. And it's an encouragement to just keep putting in that effort and that work. So for me, it's about deepening relationships this year. It's about building new relationships. And I think it's continuing to push into the video space.
Cool. Before I give questions to Deborah and Todd, I do want to know, so you've got this badass YouTube channel that's you're monetizing, and it sounds like you love doing it. What else are you doing from a video perspective? Think of yourself as a golfer and you got all these clubs in your golf bag, and call your YouTube channel One Club.
Yep.
What are some of the other clubs that you're using when it comes to video?
So Dave, I think the biggest one that I do that is way personal. It's super personal. And I do what you did. I text videos. So I'll send personal videos to my clients, my past clients, leads. I'll send them to people that I want to build relationships with. So I use video in a super, super personal way. So I've got the YouTube channel, which is like produced, and I pay somebody for that at this point in my business. I didn't start that way though. And then I've got the super, super personal. For us, I think there's a lot of room for growth in the other things. So we do share videos on Instagram and do reels and some Facebook stuff, but a lot of that I got away from that. And so my team's been encouraging, we need to do more of this. So that's something this year we're working on. Okay, what's that look like? And I've got an assistant that's really excited about doing that.
Cool. I got one more question, and then everybody else will be the one asking questions on you.
Cool.
You know, well, I don't know. I assume you like Mortgage Coach, you know, and that link that Dan gives to your clients. And I don't know what percentage of times he puts a video on it, but what do you like about the Mortgage Coach total cost analysis? How does it bring value to you and your clients?
Well, I'll speak to myself. I mean, Dan's used that for me for multiple pre-approvals and refinances for my own purchases. And I love the information and the data. It's super clean. It's super easy to understand and digest. And I think it really gives a good snapshot of clarity to things that aren't necessarily clear. And maybe for us, we assume that we understand it, but most of our clients don't. And even as somebody that does this all the time, it's still confusing. And I want to know what the exact numbers look like. And so for my clients, they love getting that information. They love being able to compare the different rates and the different options and the different down payment amounts. That for them is a huge confidence booster. And for me, I want my clients to be comfortable and confident about the process. I think that's one of their main fears is like, how do I do this? But the other one's like, what the heck do I do with my money? How do I get pre-approved? And how much is this going to cost? So I think Mortgage Coach solves that second fear, which is what happens with my money? How much is this going to cost?
Love that. Genevieve, do you have any questions for Zach or anything you want to call out from what he said so far?
Not necessarily. I mean, I'm super impressed with those statistics. I'm taking a look at Zach's YouTube channel right now and thinking, this is something that maybe I should be on as well. Yeah, no questions though.
Cool. Deborah, you're up. Any questions, comments?
Yeah, I'm curious how you and Dan have possibly partnered together to do some videos and how that has worked for you all as a team.
That's a great question. Dan and I have done some videos together. It's usually, hey, I have a video I want to do with you in it. Or like in this instance, I'm here because Dan said, hey, Zach, I want to have you on this. What's your schedule look like at 9? I'm like, let me move some stuff. I'll be here. So I think it's just a back and forth, and it's a relationship, right? So Dan and I have a relationship. We meet regularly. We talk regularly. I try to call him every day. I think I'm a little borderline annoying to him, but he doesn't tell me that. So I think it's an important part. He's an important part of my business. I'm an important part of his business. And so when there's those opportunities to collaborate, we do. I'll interview him kind of like this for my channel. But I think it's just finding those opportunities. So if you want it to be more, you can make it more.
And then my last question is, I have a lot of clients that struggle with video because they often will tell me they just don't know what to say or what to share. So I'm curious, what resources do you go to, or what tools do you use to find those great videos to record to build what you've built?
Well, I'll start with advice Dan gave me, and that was just do it, right? The good old Nike slogan. I think for me, Dan gave me another book. He didn't mention this one. It was a Gary Vaynerchuk book, but I just think Gary Vaynerchuk in general was an encouraging person for me to follow. I don't follow him anymore because he says, if you're still following me for too long, you're not getting the point. So I stopped following him as he requested. But I think the biggest thing that I learned from him and from Dan was just document what's going on. That's what Dan told me to do. And he might've got it right from Gary Vaynerchuk. Document, don't create. So as a newer real estate agent, I didn't have as much value to bring in the sense of like, I know all these things. I'm an expert at this because I wasn't. But I could bring value in the sense where I was showing what was happening and what I was experiencing, and I could bring enthusiasm to those things. So start off with just being yourself and documenting what's going on. And then over time, I've gotten away from documenting, and all I'm doing is creating. And my team's like, we need to do a lot more documenting because that's actually more human and people like that. So I've gotten away from that, which was what helped me be more successful earlier on in maybe Facebook. I don't get a lot of private messages from my friends and high school and college friends anymore saying, hey, I want to work with you. It's all just email through YouTube because I'm not spending the time putting in more of that personal content in Facebook and Instagram, which is where I think I would get more results in those spaces if it wasn't so produced. So does that helpful?
That's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Todd,
Dan-
any questions or comments that you want to pull out from what Zach said? And then Dan will bring it back to you because no one knows Zach on this call better than you.
Well, I love the advice you just gave on video. And I love that one of your secret weapons is text video because we're big fans of it here. Help with just a quick script. And you said it's super personal. So can you just give some advice on what you would say to somebody, like if you're calling whatever, Dave or Dan or Genevieve, and like what that video text script would be to make it easier for our community?
Well, I definitely don't say anything in the text. So I just send the video because I found if you say anything in the text, people don't necessarily watch the video. They just read the text. So if I sent somebody a video and I said, Happy New Year in the text, they know, oh, this is a Happy New Year video. I don't need to really watch this. I can digest it quickly. I think as far as the script go, there isn't a script. So if I'm maybe sending a message to a lead, maybe I met with somebody for a listing appointment or a buyer appointment, I sent them a video. There is a script, right? It was so great to meet with you. I'm super honored for the privilege of meeting together. I'd love the chance to be your realist, whatever. Like, there's a very basic script there. But I think if you're sending a personal video, the point is that it's not scripted. So if I sent Dan a video, like Dan, the most recent video I think I sent Dan was a thank you video, and it was on New Year's Eve. And I said something like, Dan, I'm just super grateful for you. And I want you to know that. And this is why I'm grateful for you. And I gave him a couple reasons why he's been impactful in my life and why he's important to me. And I wished him a Happy New Year. And that was it. So I think it's like, there's in your mind, you're like, who am I talking to? And then you have maybe a strategy, but all my strategy is I want to tell Dan how much he means to me in 37 seconds.
Love it. So it's just right from the heart. And then you mentioned that you have some that you'll send a buyer. So are there a few other touch points that you would say are more part of a transaction that you do that aren't spur of the moment?
That's a great question. So typically there's a video. I send videos every month. So I kind of drip to my leads and my past clients in Sphere. And those are all like market update type of things, evidence of success type of videos. And then on a regular basis during a transaction, I'll send a video after my initial call with them. And sometimes to get that call, right, if I'm having trouble connecting with them, but usually people are reaching out, they want to connect. So then I'm sending them a video after our initial call. I'll send them a video after we have our initial meeting, whether that's on Zoom or in person. I'll typically send them a video when we get under contract, and then I'll send them a video towards the end. But I like to call a lot too. So I found that there's a mix of call and video, and it depends on the person. I think both are very personal. The video I tend to use in the same situations where I would maybe have a call point. If it's a couple and they don't answer usually, there's a way I can reach both people at the same time. So instead of leaving a voicemail, I might call, and if they don't pick up, I'll send them a video instead of leaving a voicemail.
So I want everybody to write down two key phrases that while Zach said he didn't have a script, I believe he's operating under two key concepts. One, when he leaves a video to someone, they feel uniquely seen. Like you notice how he called out when I called Dan, I told him that I was grateful, and then I described why I was grateful. So I'll bet you that when he sends a video to anyone, regardless of what the purpose is, they feel uniquely seen by him. Like they feel like he listened to me, he knows their goals, they're uniquely seen. And then I bet you they feel like the video itself was uniquely valuable. Like it wasn't just fluff for him to tell them stuff. There was some value. He's saving them time. He's giving them a call to action. Would that be fair to say that almost every word that you say in you call these one-on-one videos, they fit within those two categories, value and uniquely seen?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay, so my takeaway for everyone, guys, do more video, get your agents doing more videos, just do it. If you're a mortgage coach, you've got the easiest video you'll ever create is the total cost analysis video, because that's what you're leaving on a voicemail. That's what you're saying to people, practice with that. And then, should everybody have a YouTube channel? Absolutely. Should everybody, do text videos? Absolutely. Dan, we got 5 more minutes with you and Zach. Any questions you have or anything you want to pull out of this so far?
Yeah. Let me recap, because I had a front row seat. I've had a really enjoyable front row seat to watching Zach's success. And make no mistake, he didn't just like do some videos and upload them to YouTube. I mean, this is a kid that, 3, 4, or 5 years ago, I can remember him texting me going, "Hey, have you heard of this guy on YouTube?" And I'm like, "No." And he goes, "Oh, he teaches you how to rank better and how to do better videos on YouTube." And so we've kind of studied this thing together, and I've watched him perfect this. So I want to leave you with a summary of four bullet points that I think will summarize really where Zach started 5 to 7 years ago and where he's at today and the momentum that he's got. Number one, he learned the value of being on YouTube. So he picked YouTube. He could have picked Instagram, or he could have picked Facebook. He chose YouTube and he ran with it. So I really love that about him. And he's even said that. He goes, "I can probably do a little bit better." Or, if I was all over running Facebook ads and all over Facebook, maybe that's something he's working on this year. I don't know. But he picked YouTube and he learned YouTube. He's hired people. He's hired training courses to learn how to better optimize and upload videos to YouTube. So, and I can go back through the mortgage coach community. I'll go back through some text messages from Zach and post the video that he sent me, because I've used it too. It's very helpful. Number two, Zach, when he wasn't a pro, he did what I did as a college and pro baseball coach. I studied what the greats were doing. I studied the game. And so what he did is he studied stats and he just relayed stats. He wasn't the statistician. He just knew what was going on in the market. And he said, "Hey, this is what's going on in Seattle. This is what's going on in this city. And here are some stats." And he posted them. And those videos were found. Number three, this is what I love. One of the things I love most about his YouTube channel, and he can even talk about this if he wants. When someone closes on a home, he does a video. He hires a video crew and he meets them there on the day that they give keys, and he pops some sparkling cider or champagne and gives it to them with pizza, and he interviews them in their new home and he gives them that gift of video. Then he posts that. I would be willing to bet, because I've heard him tell me this, that nowadays people are reaching out to him going, "I'll work with you as long as I get that video." Right, Zach?
It's true. I've had it happen.
So that's number three. The welcome home video is just and it's what you're gonna, and I'll kind of wrap up with this with Zach. It's authentic. It's not fake. I'm a real estate agent. I'm here to collect my $20,000 commission check. It is Zach's happy to serve that family. He's held their hand along the journey, and hey, we're here to celebrate you and your house today. And then the last thing he does with YouTube is how-to stuff. So he'll call me every once in a while and be like, "Hey, I want to do a 5-minute video with you. We'll bring in the production crew. Hey, how do we do this?" Or "How do interest rates work?" Or "What do we need to know about the 4 steps to wealth or inflation?" Stuff like that. So those 4 things I think are keys to helping you kind of grow on YouTube. But you guys, at the end of the day, Zach is wise beyond years. That's why I'm so attracted to him as a friend, because of the value and the authenticity that he brings to our relationship. Zach, about a year ago, goes, "Dan, why do we just talk on Mondays?" Because our coach tells us that we need to call our realtors on Mondays, because both of us would call each other on Mondays. And he goes, "I consider you a friend. Like, I shouldn't have to talk to you on Monday." He goes, "Why don't we just talk every single day like we should as friends?" And I'm like, "Dude, I love you, man." Because we are friends. And I think our business relationship has grown into a friendship where I think we both bring equal value. In fact, our last breakfast meeting, you said that. There's some things in my age, at 45, 46 years of age, that I can bring to the table, but there's some things too that Zach, as far as, his spiritual walk with God and certain other things, he's a family man to a T that I really appreciate. So I hope you guys are blessed by this. Zach, thank you so much for your time. I know you have to run at about 9:30. I think there's like 2 minutes left, but that's my kind of my overview on Zach McDonald.
Well, before Zach runs and we transition, Greg, I want to give you a chance. Any questions you want to ask Zach, or anything you want to pull out of what's been said?
Yeah, I don't really have any questions, but I'm very impressed. I've taken a bunch of notes here. Being a late adopter, we'll call myself a late adopter of video and that. I'm definitely excited for to use some of these tactics Zach put out there. And I think, one of the things to Dan's point is, whatever it is, right? Whether it's YouTube, it's social media, it's, learning the business. If you're somebody who just got your license, like pick something, dive into it, become a subject matter expert for that, right? Like I'm not an expert on social media. I have people that do that for me because I'm not really good with it. But they're good at it. I'm really good at analyzing somebody's financial situation. So I've put all my energy in that. You can't be everything to everyone. And I commend you, Zach, for choosing one of the platforms where I'm sitting there, I'm looking at it going, okay, which one do I post on, right? You just chose one, you went after it. And I'm gonna binge watch your YouTube channel here this week. So I'm excited.
Same.
Thanks.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes.
Hey, Zach.
Hit that button, right?
Hey,
Not
Zach, I want to have you back for a full drill down on your YouTube channel. That's something I'm also passionate about. And so maybe we'll let Dan join us and we'll have a whole drill down on YouTube channels. But take care, brother. Really appreciate you.
Thanks for having me on, everybody.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
All right, guys. So this is halfway point. We're going to focus for the next 30 minutes on Genevieve and Greg. Before I do that, remember anything you want to call out on YouTube channels. And I'm starting to get feedback. Is that just me? Is that just me?
Sounds like an echo.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but anyways, your turn, Deborah. Anything you want to? I don't know what happened, but anyways, your turn, Deborah. Anything you want to?
So I like to theme days, and so I challenge my clients to just carve out Mondays as your reporting day.
Everybody
Carve out Mondays as your reporting day. What?
Everybody can mute themselves. Go ahead, Deborah.
Okay.
We got some feedback. I don't know what happened.
So, very similar to, I'm sure what Dan does with the core. I just think it's easier when you can theme your days and you have a focus of what day you're going to do each items with marketing or social media, because there's so much that you can do. So Mondays are video recording days. And this really helps, some of the females that may be listening, that takes us a little bit longer to get ready than just a dude that can put some gel in and a, collared shirt and they're good to go. But be very intentional on that Monday, where I always say, make 2 different videos and they're longer tailed, meant for YouTube. So someone's searching, it's a different platform than social when you're talking about YouTube. People are usually going there to learn. So start with your frequently asked questions from the last 7 days, whether that's from your realtor base or your consumer base. What are those either before, during, or after the loan process that you're constantly getting asked that you could then one time just by doing a video. And then also one that's more of a financial literacy topic. I think we all know there's, a lack of knowledge in that space. And so if you could commit to just, that maybe would take 20 minutes to carve out and just set time on your calendar that Mondays are my recording days. It's meant for YouTube. They're longer tailed. It's meant to be educational, and just do it. It doesn't have to be, you can literally do it with your iPhone, with a ring light, or if you're in front of good lighting. That's the most important thing, is lighting and sound. But you don't need to overthink it and assume you need like $6,000 worth of studio equipment to do a high quality video on YouTube. But I will say, if you're not on YouTube, I would make that your #1 priority for this year. Is out of all social platforms, you got to get on YouTube.
I couldn't agree more. We'll be talking about more of that throughout the year. And if you aren't at least doing text video, get started with that. So Greg, why don't you kick off and just describe, when you think of Guinevere and what makes her unique as an agent and a partner, describe that. And you're on mute, Greg, by the way.
Yeah, sorry about that. So what I was going to say about Genevieve is she is absolutely one of those, like the best people that you would want to work with. She cares immensely about all of her clients. She actually does a lot of VA clients and helps a lot of VA clients get into homes through some network with her husband being a veteran himself and that. And so it's a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun in this market where it's been tough for veterans. And I know, Dave, you've had several guests in the recent past that talked about how hard it is to get veterans into homes in this very difficult inventory market. So, Genevieve and I have really kind of poured into these clients together, and it's been just super, super rewarding. She actually is great with social media. I, again, laid it out. I'll say that I'm okay maybe with it. She's awesome with it, but we've done some videos together, the interview style videos. We have some more that we just shot last month that'll be rolling out here this quarter. And so we just had a lot of fun together, growing each other's business. And like I said, we started out where Genevieve was a client. And so she got to see the mortgage coach experience as a client and raised her hand and said, "Hey, I want that for my clients as I build my business here." So it's been a lot of fun.
So Genevieve, I know you because of that video you created about why you love mortgage coach. And
Yes.
anyone who wants to watch that, it's on our Instagram channel. I think we put it in our Facebook group. Thank you for that. But what do you think is unique about your real estate practice? I mean, it sounds like you're pretty active on social media, but what do you think makes you unique? What do you work hard to be unique at?
Yeah, so for me, it's all about education. I am the daughter of 2 English professors, and so I know the value of good education. And I feel like a lot of people enter the home buying process completely at a loss of where to begin. There's so much information out there, right? I mean, you Google how to buy a house and you're getting inundated with all kinds of information that's not really very helpful. And it also doesn't help that there's so many sources of like unreliable information. Like anybody who's bought a house thinks it's easy and thinks that they could be an expert on it. So if you mention that you're in the market, all of a sudden you've got friends, colleagues, aunts, uncles, parents with all of their opinions about what you should do and what your next step should be. The reality is, if you're not in a market like this every single day, experiencing it, living it, being around other people who are in it, you don't really know what's going on. And so one of the things that I really try to cultivate in my own business and in my interactions with my clients, and one of the things that I really appreciate about how Greg interacts with our clients is just, I guess, informing them right off the bat. In our market in Seattle, and I'm sure many of the markets of the coaches or the lenders that are on this call are challenging, right? They're very, very competitive. And so I want to set the standard right away for what it is that they should expect to come up against, because it's very intimidating. And when you're first told that you'll have to go significantly above asking price on a property, or that you will likely waive your inspection, right? And that if you are really unwilling to waive a home inspection on a certain property, it's probably not the property for you. Or that you might have to bring tens of thousands of additional funds to close in the case of a low appraisal. And you need to make that promise up front. Or that you would need to release your earnest money of 6 figures to the seller within 2 days of closing. I mean, these are the kinds of practices we see in our market. And when you hear that, you're like, whoa. Wait a second here. That won't happen to me. My experience will be different, or it'll change. It'll change by the time I get serious, right? I mean, it has to. I mean, I'm a big fan of saying it doesn't have to do anything, right? I mean, we've all been waiting for this sort of like softening or this crash. Well, I mean, not me personally, but it seems like buyers have for a year and a half now, and I don't think it's on the horizon. And so that sort of emotional response of it has to change, it will be different for me, is an objection that I come across quite frequently. And the sooner that I can establish, hey, I know this is unpleasant to hear. This is what it's going to take. I want you to be successful. And since I do this every day, I have an idea of how I can put you in the best position to win the house that you want. And with Greg, he reinforces that. I mean, I see, say around 25, 30 families a year that I'm working with that I help with their dream of home ownership. Greg is seeing 400. And so for me, Greg is a great resource for finding out what's happening with other brokers, especially in the last year and a half, 2 years since we've been working more from home, going into the office less. I used to go into the office and just chat, right? Just kind of water cooler type of conversations. What did you do this weekend? How many offers did you write for that client? What did that winning offer look like, right? And kind of trade information and get a sense from those conversations of how the market was doing in certain price ranges, in addition to stats and everything. But Greg is working with so many brokers in our area at one time that if I'm hearing from him, yeah, I actually had 5 people get a house this weekend. Maybe things are opening up. It was a little slower for some reason. Or yeah, it's been like 2 weeks and we're all struggling here. Everything has 30 offers on it. That's more information I can bring back to my clients. And that's very valuable to them because they're not only seeing their own personal experience with writing an offer and what offer might have won out for them or for that house. They're seeing kind of a larger breadth of data. And so that's something that I find really valuable in working with a lender like Greg and his team.
Great. Well, I've got one more question and then we'll go around. Dan Keller, you're going to be first when we have questions coming, so get ready. What is the biggest opportunity for you right now in this quarter? Like when you think of where am I really going to put my energy and it's a big opportunity, what comes to mind?
So Dave, I'm so excited about this. So I'm kind of on the same, I guess, experience level as Zach, but I am way behind him in growing. So I have been a lone wolf my entire real estate career. I kind of like to have my hands on everything. And I just love what I do. So I love transaction management. I love showing houses. I love listing appointments. I love going to staging, appointments. I love all this stuff, right? And I'm getting to a point now, and it's probably been a few years coming where I'm up against the ceiling of what I can physically do as one person. So I have brought on a licensed assistant for the first time. And so I'm not sure if this is exactly the answer that you were hoping for, but for me in my own personal business, it's just training someone else and training them to be there so that I can do more, both in my personal life and get more of that work-life balance and spend more time with my family and friends. And also so that I have the capacity, right, and like the bandwidth to take on more clients and find other creative ways to grow my business. So I don't have everything just floating out here all the time. I'm really trying to create processes so that I can pass them along to my assistant. So that's what I'm most excited for.
Well, first of all, that is a great answer. And when I published the article over the weekend of the 10 best videos or 10 most watched videos on our channel, I actually in the article listed 3 megatrends that I see that are impacting both mortgage and real estate. And the first one was just technology, the use of video and platforms like Mortgage Coach is a megatrend. And I was shocked at how much market share Teams took. So I listed that as the number 2 megatrend, which is Teams. And literally last year in 2020, there were about 3,000 and some odd teams that did over 300 loans. And this year in 2021, there was over 6,000 teams, it was like a 78% increase. So first of all, great decision, great answer. By the way, for anyone who's wondering, the third mega trend is new loan officers and new realtors coming into the business. I mean, it's real and it's a big deal. Dan, anything you want to call out or any questions you have so far?
Yeah, I always like talking with successful people and finding out what works really great for them. So I'm going to put you on the spot, Genevieve. All right.
I'm ready.
You've got 45 days. You have no clients in your pipeline right now. You've got 45 days to close a transaction or you lose your license. You don't get to be a real estate agent anymore. No more real estate for Genevieve. Yeah. What would you do today to go out and get a new client?
Oh, I love this question. Oh, I've got so many different things kind of up in my mind here. I would probably focus on what I've been most good at so far, which is projecting my light over social media. I'm really fortunate that I've traveled a lot. I've lived all over the world. I know a lot of people. I don't necessarily know so many people directly in the area where I live. Do referrals count?
Yeah, you got to get a deal somehow, some way,
Yeah.
get a deal in the door. So yeah, dial in for
Absolutely.
dollars, social. Yep.
I feel like I would just really up my visibility on social media channels. I think that people have an inherent interest in real estate. If we look at HGTV or Selling Sunset, right, all these sort of like Hollywood versions of what we do, they have a lot of really dedicated viewers. And so when I listen to Zach, I'm just like nodding my head, yes, 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 because we get so much engagement just by doing and by documenting what we're doing. And I think in the mortgage world, it's likely the same. People want to see what you're up to, right? I would probably, like I said, project a lot more over social media. I'm one of those people who's super friendly. So just talk to everyone I can. My poor husband, I feel terrible for him, but in every conversation and social interaction we have, at some point, the conversation turns to real estate. And so I just find that I love talking about it, and people they're attracted to that. And I don't know, I have a feeling that I would find somebody there pretty quickly. And there's, of course, I'm kind of assuming in the scenario that I don't already have a base of clients, but since I do, I would probably be reaching out to clients and just sort of, starting conversations with them and mentioning that I would love to help any of their friends or family.
Yeah, appreciate that. I appreciate that answer, because I think a lot of real estate agents and lenders right now, prospecting is, when I sit down with a real estate agent and talk about business, the most important thing right now is prospecting. So great answer. I think there's a lot of value in that. Social media and the people that you know.
So guys, I hope everybody wrote this down. She said, projecting my light on social media. I love that choice of words. And, I feel your light. And when you created that, why you love Mortgage Coach, could just feel the energy. So I think that was awesome. So everybody watching this, guys, this is TCA Tuesday. And that means it is the day that if you're active in this Mortgage Coach community, whether you've created 20 total cost analysis and you're an orange belt, or whether you've created thousands like Greg and Dan, TCA Tuesday is the day where you project your Mortgage Coach light on social media. So Deborah, first of all, anything you want to say about that? I also want to make sure that you remind people about what to do today, and then you can close out with a question for Genevieve.
Well, she's speaking my love language, leading with projecting her light on social media. So, kudos to you. And I would say, yes, today is TCA Tuesday, but for the agents on this call, make this your CMA day, where you are committed to every week, you're just storytelling, and you're using, whether it's the TCA or the CMA. And I would challenge that, the rock stars like Dan and Greg, I would really love to see you two team up and do, whether it's through Lender Launchpad and have it married together. I call it a certified equity assessment, where today what I would do for the first Tuesday of the month is make that your annual asset review day. And why it's so important at the start of the year, when a lot of people are thinking about their finances and their financial house and getting things in order, it's a great time to do a mortgage checkup. And so I posted in the community earlier this morning that, when you go live and you do this, when you go live, there's no algorithms that are applied. So it's always going to get more visibility, but it also allows people to feel like it's genuine, it's authentic, it's not super polished or branded or staged. It truly feels like this is on your heart and it's something that you want to share. And you just follow the Renee Rodriguez sequence of storytelling, where you start with the intro, which, you spend a little bit of time here introducing maybe the client's challenge or this client's situation, because that's what creates the relatable factor. You want someone listening being like, oh, that's me, or that's my sister. So you do the intro. The message is using the CMA or the TCA. as how you help educate. So, your value of education and why you use Greg and how he can show options. That's very clear and easy to make decisions, which is what I love about the TCA. That's what you use for your message. Okay. And then your tie down. I share this with you all because you may know someone out there, or this may be you in a similar situation who, you're really trying to get your finances in order. And whether last year was a great year or a tough year, you could be thinking, there's ways to invest your locked up equity, or maybe it's not a good time to refinance. If you don't love your house and you don't think you're going to be there for more than a couple years, maybe it's time that, me and Zach or whoever meet with you and we talk about what it would look like, to list and what type of strategies we can have, in that contract that maybe you can't close until we find our next home, or, whatever those strategies can be. You've got to be consistent in that message. We're just carve out the day on Tuesdays and your storytelling, but you're being the solutionist. You're not selling, you're showing how you solve normal people problems in an art or in a way that positions you as a lender or an agent that thinks differently than every other lender. And that's what I love about the TCA tool, is it right away positions you as you're different.
Thank you, Deborah. So guys, if you're active in this community, check out a TCA a day or TCA Tuesday idea in the Facebook group. Any questions for Genevieve?
Not that I can think of right now, other than I challenge you and Greg to go live and do your TCA or CMA storytelling.
I've never done it. I really, I love Zach's confidence with video because I have this, how they say that like perfection is the enemy of progress, right? I feel like every time I stumble over a word, I have to stop.
But people fall in love with your imperfections.
So right.
Yeah. And go
you
follow,
just do it.
follow Todd's Win by Noon page, because Todd Booksman, he's a client of mine, and he went live because I had challenged him, and it was the first time, and he set up StreamYard with just a little tip for the females on here. If you're nervous about going live, you can pre-record a video and upload it to StreamYard, and it'll play once it's scheduled to appear live. So if that
What's
helps,
it called? StreamYard?
StreamYard.com.
Cool.
And you can connect all destinations like multiple Facebook groups, your Facebook page. You can just go follow Todd at Win by Noon, and he'll give you a little, maybe that'll be his next live of how he created his StreamYard account yesterday.
No pressure, no pressure.
But you can pre-record and upload it, because I know sometimes it takes practice and you may not want to be like, right, but just know people fall in love with the imperfections because you're just you.
Todd, any questions for Genevieve?
Well, one quick statement. I saw the option to pre-record and I chose not to because of just what Genevieve said. I would have re-recorded it 37 times before I pushed it. And my whole goal was just to be out there and be there with my imperfections. And, so I love that. And I really think Dan nailed it with his question to you about, what would you do if you had a short period of time? So, so those of us who don't know who you are, where's the best place on social media to follow you so we can kind of see your light shining bright there?
Sure. So my Instagram is probably where I'm most active, and it's Sold by Genevieve.
Awesome.
All one word.
Do you have any particular schedule you follow, or you just get on there and post whenever you feel the inspiration?
Not right now, Todd, but with my assistant, I am planning on more of a marketing calendar. So we've worked out what days we'll be sharing certain information and, things like just really basic stuff like, hey, the, first week of each new month, we're doing market watches and market updates, that kind of thing. Because I've never been super consistent with it. Usually I draw my post ideas from wanting to remind people, hey, I'm here. I can take up space in anyone's brain just as they're scrolling. By just kind of projecting that I love what I do, I find that I get pretty good engagement. But most of my posts are educational in nature. So, hey, this is, the best ways to save for home ownership. Or if you're a seller and you're considering listing, here are some things you might want to think. Here are some documents you might want to think about gathering. Just kind of little things like that have been part of my life that week. I'll just start writing down topics and ideas based on what I'm living. And I get usually good feedback on it.
So Greg, my gift for YouTube for being on this call is I will give you, Genevieve, I just did a webinar for a CMA a day mastermind group with a bunch of agents, and I created a content calendar with your content pillars and a framework of focus
Ooh.
of what you could post each day. So Greg, if you'll email me, I'll send that to her for free or send it to you as my gift.
Thank you.
Very cool. Thank you, Deb.
You're
Good.
welcome.
So we got about 5 minutes left. If you're watching this and you want to get a question in live, put it either in Zoom or Facebook. If you're watching the recording on YouTube channel, put questions down below. We're going to be doing more agent interviews with mortgage coaches. Greg, again, no one knows, at least on this call, Genevieve better than you. Any questions you want to ask before we wrap it up?
Yeah, no questions, but I did definitely want to congratulate her on growing. That's one of the biggest things. Dan and I are in the core together. Like, I don't want to speak for Dan, but I'm guessing like if we look back and go, hey, what's the number one thing that's propelled our businesses forward? It's growing a team around you, and that's something that Genevieve and I have talked about for a couple of years now, of like, hey, you got to let go and you have to be willing to bet on yourself, because if you're not willing to bet on yourself, like, who are you willing to bet on? Right. And taking that step, and I know it's a financial commitment and can be a little scary, but I know her, and I know that her business will grow from this, and I'm really excited for that, and can't wait to be part of it. So.
Love it, brother. Well, I'm so grateful for you. I'm going to go around and everybody can kind of share a closing thought. I do want to push everybody to check out the article I'm going to put down below, top 10 videos in the Mortgage Coach channel. We're looking to hit 20,000 subscribers this year. So I think we're a little over 15,000. So please subscribe so you get alerts when we put up new videos. And just to remind everybody where it is, I'll put the link down below. And here are the best. And I want you guys to think of it this way: is when you're watching these videos, you're training with the best of the best in the Mortgage Coach channel. So the number one video of last year was Scriptapalooza. If you have not watched this, whether you're an agent or a mortgage professional, pure gold. So I'm not going to go through them all. There is a link down below. Let's see. Genevieve, closing thoughts from you. Anything you want to make sure people come from this call with?
Oh gosh, I mean, there's so much to cover, so nothing really very specific, but I've learned so much from hearing everyone on this call talk. I feel super inspired to take on my Tuesday. So thank you guys so much for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. Dan Keller, it's always a gift when we have you in the community. Any closing thoughts, brother?
Oh, likewise. Gosh, I think Robert just asked in the chat, he said, what coaching program is Zach and myself involved in? Same with Greg. So we're in the core training. I got Zach involved in the core about 3 years ago. I got him involved with 2 other agents. The other two of the 3 joined, and both of them have built teams, and both of them have substantially grown their business. And this isn't a plug to the core, it's a plug to coaching. Like, get plugged into coaching. Like, if you're operating at this level, at the level that Genevieve and Greg and me and Zach are operating at, and Todd, you got to get plugged in to some form of accountability. And so it's changed my life, like what Greg just said. So great call, Dave. Genevieve, you're awesome. I love your energy. You can totally, what you said about shining your light, I can feel it all the way over here on the other side of Seattle. And it's always good to see my man, Greg. So great call today, you guys.
Deborah, closing thoughts.
Go project your light today on social, and check out the link that I posted in this chat for those of you in Seattle. It had the stats on drastic increases of apartment occupancy levels. So sounds like you guys in Seattle, we need to get some wealthy homeowners and get them out of renting.
Yes.
Yeah, lots of equity out there, lots of first-time home buyers. Make sure you're a master at doing a rent versus own and a move-up analysis. Those are my closing thoughts. Todd, bring it home as Worcester win by noon, taking action for this call.
All right, I got 7 pages of notes, and I'm going to give you guys a couple of ideas because Dave said you got to take action, right? You just spent an hour, you invested, and we learned from some amazing loan officers and their amazing real estate agent partners. And I would kind of ask you a couple of quick questions and then think about how to go from here, right? Dan showed up to a real estate agent meeting with someone who had never done a transaction. Would you do that, right? Some of you wouldn't. I would encourage you to think about it. He showed up with a book. He showed up with an action plan to give him after asking questions. So number one is learn from that example and make that part of your action plan for this year, right? He asked Genevieve, what would she do in the next 45 days if she was going to lose her license, if she didn't close a transaction, right? Maybe you should ask yourself that as a loan officer. What should you be doing right now in your business to get there? Zach talked about sending text videos to be personal. You should consider that. And then lastly, right, Genevieve talked, I got to read it because I want to get that quote right. She talked about projecting her light over social, right? The world needs you. Jump over to the Win by Noon user mastermind group where I did my live. I will absolutely do something in the next week on what I set up with StreamYard and how that works. So if you want to follow my journey there, I would love to have you over there. You don't need to be a Win by Noon user, and we'll have a lot of fun.
So every real estate and mortgage professional that is on this, you have the power to be the single most valuable advisor in the community that you serve. You can and should be more valuable than CPAs, financial planners, insurance agents. You think of yourself as the captain of the wealth team. And there is a financial literacy crisis in America, and it's solved locally. You know, I love what you said, Genevieve, like you're an educator. Guys, there are high school students that are not graduating and coming out financially literate. There are college students, most of them, that are not financially literate. Most people aren't financially literate in how to build wealth with real estate. So be the captain of the wealth team. All you mortgage coaches, find realtors that are like-minded, that are educators, like the 2 agents that were on this call, and so, you know, do your part to solve that problem locally. I do hope to see more of you, not only just going out to groups where you know there's transactions, but go and speak at high schools, go speak at colleges, be the captain of the wealth team. Take care, everybody, and let's have a kick-ass year. Bye now.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
Genevieve.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys.